YouTube chat poll. Should John Harbaugh be the number one candidate for the Browns job?
Is it 99.9% of people saying yes?
It's 89%.
Then who's the other guy? Like, who? If you're not saying Harbaugh, who are you saying is what I want to know.
Maybe Kevin Stefanski. Maybe they still haven't.
They want to bring him back. Like, this shakes everything up in a big time way. Not only, first off, if I'm Stefanski, I'm now I'm doing the Giants interview. I'm like the whole time I'm just thinking about Baltimore.
Coach, now we know John Harbaugh. He actually likes Shedeur Sanders. He wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders. And we're going to get into all of this because he may have real interest. It's coming out that he has interest in Cleveland.
Kevin Stefanski is officially on shaky ground right now, and nobody in Cleveland is pretending otherwise anymore. The buzz around the league is loud, and the Browns' ownership is reportedly looking hard at John Harbaugh as a potential coach for Shadur. And if that move happens, the entire power structure flips overnight. This isn't subtle. This isn't quiet, and this isn't internet noise either. When nearly 9 out of 10 fans are openly saying Harbaugh should be the top choice, that's a message you can't ignore. That level of support doesn't come from hype, it comes from trust. Fans are exhausted with mixed signals, tired of unclear direction, and fed up with coaches who freeze up when the pressure hits. Stefanski's name isn't being mentioned with confidence anymore. It's being mentioned out of routine, and that's dangerous. When people can't even clearly name a strong alternative but still agree change is needed, that says the belief is already gone. Habits don't win games, momentum does. And this poll didn't just stir the pot, it exposed how thin the faith in Cleveland's current direction really is. From Stefanski's seat, this is panic mode, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. When one coach is talked about like a lifeline and your name comes up as a maybe, you've already lost ground. Stfansky quietly interviewing elsewhere while all this unfolds only adds to the optics. It feels like someone sensing the floor cracking beneath them and trying to line up an exit. And honestly, the criticism isn't random. He failed to create a clear identity, failed to establish consistency, and failed to fully commit to the long-term vision around a young quarterback when it mattered most. What Cleveland got was hesitation, explanations, and uneven results. And now that receipt is due. John Harbaugh represents the opposite energy, structure, confidence, and direction. That's why this matters so much for Shadur. Believing in Shadur isn't a side note, it's the entire blueprint.
Yeah. Like, you want this job so badly, but then it obviously shakes everything up for the Browns. Like, the realistic chance that Harbaugh would just say, screw you, Baltimore, for even firing me. I'm going to go to the AFC North rival, and I'm going to go fix the Browns.
It's interesting. Now it's going to be really interesting who. Well, listen. Let's point out this. John Harbaugh could very clearly decide. I've got 3 years left of my contract. I'm going to sit out a year, and we'll talk in a year.
Sure, you could do TV for something like that.
Or just go
on the table, or go to the beach.
Go live on the beach.
Yeah.
Right, eat some of those crab cakes. But I think if you're like, listen, if you had hired, or if you do hire a David Shaw, a guy that I like. There's going to be people that don't like it. It's not a move that is going to bring everybody together. That only happens once that guy comes in and wins, right? Like, there's really not. I think Clint Kubiak has a lot of guys in this town, or a lot of people in this town that like that idea, but it's not a unanimous hire. And maybe this changes over the course of the search.
A coach who recognizes talent early, isn't afraid of confidence, and knows how to build around a quarterback is exactly what Shadur needs to level up. Shadur plays with edge, belief, and leadership, and Harbaugh understands that type of mindset. This pairing actually makes sense on every level. Stfansky never truly matched that energy, never fully leaned into it. If Cleveland is serious about stopping the cycle and building something real, backing Shadur with a proven coach like Harbaugh might be the smartest decision they've made in years. This moment feels massive because it completely reshapes how everyone views the Browns' head coaching job right now. When a coach openly wants this role, that already tells you Cleveland isn't a dead end anymore. But the idea of John Harbaugh stepping straight into the AFC North and flipping the Browns upside down? That's not a quiet move. That's a power play. That's not rebuilding talk. That's a loud, chest-out statement that echoes across the league. It would send a clear message. Harbaugh isn't finished, he isn't shaken, and he definitely isn't running from competition. Sure, he could sit back, collect money, do TV hits, or disappear for a year and chill. But coaches wired like Harbaugh don't think like that. They don't watch football from the couch when they believe there's unfinished business on the table. And Cleveland, especially with a young quarterback like Shadur, looks exactly like unfinished business waiting to be attacked. What separates Harbaugh from every other name being floated is simple. He stabilizes chaos instantly. The moment he walks in, the room settles. Other candidates feel like experiments, like long-term projects that might work later. But right now, fans are divided. Media narratives are all over the place, and trust stays shaky until real leadership shows up. Harbaugh skips that messy phase completely. He brings instant belief, instant structure, and instant accountability. Players already know what he demands. Ownership knows exactly what they're paying for, and the city finally understands the direction. That kind of clarity hasn't existed in Cleveland for a long time. You don't sell Harbaugh with promises, you sell him with proof. And for Shadur, that proof matters more than anything else. A young quarterback doesn't need a coach learning on the fly or chasing validation. He needs someone who already knows how to win, how to handle pressure, and how to let a confident quarterback be himself without shutting him down.
Because they didn't choose the Giants, the Titans, or the Raiders.
So here's the advantage, and this is where Haslam needs to really flex on the one thing that we know he can do, which is open up the piggy bank. This is it, Haslam. Here and now is your time to shine. Mm-hmm. Make him an offer he can't refuse. Put it however many zeros.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, Jimmy Haslam needs to open up that checkbook and ask Harbaugh, how much do you want on this check? That's what he needs to do.
Heroes that has to accompany with it. Do what the Walton family did in Denver and say whatever you want, Sean Payton. And that's got to be your pitch. It's what you have to do in order to get this done. But this is the one area where Haslam really can make this happen. Not every owner goes so hard in the paint when it comes to offering up big-time checks to these coaches, and Haslam can.
But
Harbaugh has coached leaders, not robots, and he understands edge, confidence, and control. If Cleveland truly wants to protect Shadur, develop him, and let him grow into the face of the franchise, this is the cleanest path forward. This isn't just about filling a coaching seat. It's about announcing that excuses are over. Ownership has to step up right here. Harbaugh didn't chase every open job, and that matters. When a coach passes on teams like the Giants, Titans, or Raiders, it tells you he's choosing, not begging, and that makes this moment even bigger. That means Cleveland still has a real shot here, but only if Jimmy Haslam finally understands what time it is. This isn't about being cautious anymore, and it's definitely not about pinching pennies. This is about making a straight-up power move. When a coach on John Harbaugh's level is available, you don't stall, you don't slow play it, and you don't nickel and dime. You overwhelm him and make it clear this franchise is serious. This is where Haslam actually has an advantage, and he needs to use it fast. Not every owner is willing to write a massive check for a head coach, but this is one of those rare moments where money actually fixes the problem. We've seen this work before, when ownership goes all in and stops playing it safe. Sometimes the quickest way forward is to remove hesitation entirely. The moment you say, name your price, the entire dynamic changes. That signals confidence, stability, and a real commitment to winning. Cleveland wasted years chasing cheaper options and safer paths, and that era failed, plain and simple. If Haslam truly wants a reset, this is how it's done. You back up your talk with real money and bring in a coach who commands respect the second he walks through the door. And for Shadur, this move isn't optional at all. If the Browns actually believe he's the future, then they must surround him with the strongest leadership possible. Shadur doesn't need another uncertain situation or mixed messaging.
I don't hate John Harbaugh, and I think he's done a tremendous job there for a long time. It's hard to coach a franchise like that for 18 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he needed a change of scenery, and they definitely needed a change of scenery. And I don't disagree with it. Wherever he's going to land, he'll be very good. Somebody can jump. Somebody wherever you want him. Maybe it is Cleveland.
Yeah, where do you think is a great fit for him?
Nah, it ain't Cleveland.
I don't know if it's Cleveland. I like the Giants.
I don't call stale. 2022, y'all lose to the Bengals, we in the playoffs. But you lose to the Bengals, they go to the chip.
Yep.
2023, you see what they did in 23? We lost to the Super Bowl champions. 2024.
Well, that was the AFC Championship game at home that they lost.
That's the Super Bowl champions.
Man, it's still.
All right, 2024, we lose to the Bills. from a drop pass. Like, what's stale about that?
I think like Skip said.
Yeah, John Harbaugh has definitely had them in position to compete for Super Bowls, and most teams will kill for that opportunity. To be honest, like if you're a play away consistently year after year, like you're in position to really win.
He needs protection, belief, and a system designed to win now. Paying top dollar for Harbaugh isn't overspending. It's investing directly into Shedur's development, confidence, and long-term success. Jimmy Haslam needs to stop hesitating, open the checkbook, and make this happen, whatever it takes. This is the swing that changes everything. Moments like this don't come often, and missing it would be unforgivable. And let's clear something up real quick. The idea that John Harbaugh is stale doesn't match reality at all. Coaching one team for nearly 2 decades and keeping them competitive year after year is rare. Most coaches don't even survive 5 seasons, let alone stay relevant for 18. His teams didn't collapse, didn't drift, and didn't lose direction. That's not stagnation, that's consistency, and Cleveland could use every bit of it. They were right there every single time. Close, dangerous, and fully in the mix. Losing to teams that go on to win championships isn't failure. It's proof you were actually in the fight. That's the line between bad teams and serious teams, and Cleveland fans know the difference. When you look back at those seasons honestly, the story becomes crystal clear. Dropping a playoff game to a conference rival that ends up in the Super Bowl doesn't mean your foundation is cracked. Losing tight games to elite teams, sometimes on one snap, one mistake, or one bounce, means you were good enough to be there. That's not stagnation, that's sustained competitiveness. Half the league would trade places instantly just to feel that level of relevance year after year. Yes, being one play away over and over hurts, but it also proves the structure is strong and the coaching is doing its job. That's exactly why wherever John Harbaugh goes, the standard rises immediately. He brings stability, belief, and accountability that doesn't slip under pressure. Players trust him because he's lived it, and ownership trusts him because he leads with certainty, not guesses. Calling Harbaugh outdated or washed ignores the facts right in front of us. He's kept teams in Super Bowl range inside one of the toughest conferences for years. Coaches like that don't grow on trees, and the moment one signs, that franchise upgrades instantly. That's not hype, that's reality. At the end of the day, this proves John Harbaugh isn't stale at all. He's a proven winner who keeps teams in championship range consistently. If Cleveland wants real stability, real leadership, and a real chance to win while protecting Shedur's future, this move makes way too much sense to ignore. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think John Harbaugh should be the Browns' next head coach, or should Cleveland go a different direction? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.